So it's time to talk about my cars. Normally I never take more than one car to an event. Just looking after it or driving it here, it's always traumatic.
You're very, what can I say? You're very, very strong to make sure you can take all three cars at one time, right?
Yeah. No, so I did. I mean, the first time, but here they are. This one, again,
Your Pagoda, your SL. So I have a story about this car. I don't know if you remember it, but we were probably coming out of 1900s. This was way back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And when we left there was the Italian consulate in his Pajero, which was a petrol Pajero.
Right.
And you were in this car, and I was in my Plymouth. And I remember, for some reason, that guy he cut you off, or he tried to act a little over smart with you on Marine Drive.
Yeah.
And he thought he'd leave you behind, and he didn't realize that this car has the pep and the power not only to keep up to him, but like overtake him. And he was shocked in it. I don't know if you remember that, but
I remember.
And I was following way behind in my little jalopy trying to catch up to you. Yeah, they are great memories. You've had this car for so long.
So long, yeah. It's just so many such memories, and that's what
Absolutely.
makes it special for me. I mean, it's just emotional. So this one, I love this one, and the interesting story about this one was obviously when we were restoring this car, there was a lot of debate on the color scheme that we were going to go with. So originally it was sort of a gunmetal grey that had been decided upon. And then I also thought about black because I've always had a black fixation. But I was just sort of doing some research and I came across this blue. It's the original Mustang color called Grabber Blue.
Beautiful.
And when I did suggest it to the team that was doing the restoration, they were all very skeptical.
Apprehensive.
Very apprehensive.
Like what's going on here?
And they were not very sure about it. But when it sort of was done, everyone was like, that was a great choice.
I think we need to open the engine hood on this. Let's have a look at how she is. And so there you go. Look at that. Just beauty.
Yeah. So this is. It looks nice and clean, but I do use this car quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's quite used. It runs very well.
Why don't you start it up for us and let's hear the horses.
Okay. So we have updated the carburetor on this.
Yeah. So you've got a 4-barrel Edelbrock on her.
Yeah. So that it really has made a big difference from what it was. It's just much punchier, runs well.
Yeah.
The other modifications that we have done is we have put better, more modern sort of suspension bits to it. We put brakes by Willwood because brakes were again very weak, and with the performance,
absolutely,
I wanted to make sure that the braking power was there.
I can see you've gone within electronic ignition as well.
Yeah.
So that's amazing because that's what actually helps in making sure these cars run properly without giving you any hassles.
Correct.
You've gone for a nice big aluminum radiator as well to improve cooling.
To make sure it doesn't overheat, and touch wood, it's not been overheating much. And as you were mentioning, the struts, right?
The strut tower braces. So for this era of cars to have the strut tower braces, like I told you the last time also, there's so much of technology from the older cars that are now coming into a lot of the modern cars and things like that. And so it's amazing to see how it transforms into today's cars.
Correct. Okay, let's try and fire up.
Let's hear it. Now, hear that?
You hear that? I think we're running a bit low on the fuel. So it's nicely done. The interior is very clean, functional. I've put a modern music system into it. I've got air conditioning.
Bluetooth.
Air
All the
conditioning.
bells and whistles.
All the bells and whistles. I've put a nice, what do you call it?
Tachometer.
Yeah, attack over here. The temperature gauges weren't working. So I've added a
External gauge.
external aftermarket gauge so that, you know,
Yeah,
that's one thing to monitor.
Absolutely.
But yeah, apart from that, manual, it's a 3-speed manual.
Beautiful.
So it's not a 4-speed.
Yeah.
We had a discussion about should we change the transmission to make it 4-speed, but you know, I'm enjoying the 3-speed.
Yeah.
It's quite
But
different.
you'd enjoy the 3-speed in Bombay, but when you're cruising on a highway, you always feel that you need that extra gear. So
Sure.
You know, at some point in time, I think in the future, you can't turn it off. You need to give us a few hard blips.
That's it. So good, from these two, we've got to move to another very, very special car.
Absolutely.
So which is this one over here. So again, you know, iconic car for India.
Absolutely.
Something that sort of changed the way we used to drive our cars, you know.
So when Maruti launched this model, the
Yeah.
S80 in 1984, it was my dad who actually drove the Maruti, test drove it, and it actually, I've got the articles of the newspapers where he actually did the test drive and things like that.
Yeah.
And we happened to be the first Maruti authorized service station in the country
Oh, wow. Wow.
in 1984.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a lovely car. And
Absolutely.
you know, it's such an original car. I mean, it's got these scratches, but I don't want to touch the paint. I want to leave it as original. The interior is
Absolutely.
immaculate. She runs very well, needs a bit of a slight bit of a tune. It's got a bit of a hole in the exhaust, but it sounds like fun. And I actually, you know, I really enjoy driving it. Was not normally a person who likes small cars. I prefer slightly bigger cars.
Yeah.
But since I've been driving this, and this is actually very, very original. You know,
I can
the
see that.
paint, everything, the interior, even mechanically,
Yeah.
everything is running fine. Only thing is the carburetor has been changed. It's not the original Mikuni carburetor, but that's something that we are working on. So just look at it. It's just everything is,
Absolutely. As it was from the factory.
yeah. Anything else, Sunit, that, what do you think? Yeah, the stickers, you know, again, stickers on the car.
Yeah.
It's got that sticker where, you know, they used to test the car and say, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's still got that. And see, these
Yeah.
stickers, we maintain.
The Hindi and Marathi stickers. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Amazing.
an original running car,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, like a survivor kind of thing. So this is not a car that I would ever want to restore.
Absolutely. You don't need to. She's got the original torque rods, the jack in the original place.
Yeah.
Do you have the original toolkit as well?
We do have the
Oh, you
original
do?
toolkit. We have the hub, you know, those things that you...
The hubcaps?
Hubcaps.
Yeah.
Apparently those are difficult to get nowadays.
Okay,
So we've got
yeah.
those. The rear view mirror, apparently one of the Maruti specialist guys was telling me that that's very hard to get because people
Okay.
have been, you know, pull them off or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's got everything sort of on it.
You're actually missing the rubber bush that's supposed to come over the timing cover.
Okay. So me,
That's where the timing hole is. There's a little rubber grommet that comes there that you need that for that. Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Very easily available. I believe one of the floor kits, they have a rubber bushing kit for the floor that should, even though this is a little bigger, but something similar to that will fit
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. These were my 3 cars for this event.
Lovely.
I was actually looking forward to taking this for the drive because they opened the new C-Link at the Coastal Road.
You
But we
were,
were told,
honored to make sure that you were one of the famous 15 or 12 that.
yeah, no, it was an honor, but I thought it would be apt to take this car, actually.
Absolutely.
You know, it would have been apt, but
I think they wanted convertible
they wanted
cars.
convertibles, so.
Why don't we hear her as well? Oh, so she's a non-AC, huh?
Non-AC.
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 So I don't know if you know, but back in the day, they had what is known as the standard, which was the ordinary. Then they had what is known as ACTG, which stands for AC tinted glasses. And then they had the deluxe version, which had the AC tinted glasses and seat belts and things like that at that point in time as well.
Right.
Lovely. So nice to see an 800.
Yeah. Nice, no?
Yeah. So these rims are not the original rims?
No, we've taken those off.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are the original tires on them, the original tires. So,
On the
we've kept
rim,
those separately. We've got the new that Mikuni carb. We've given it for what do you call it? Rebuilding it. So then I'll get that on.
We've got Manoj out here. Let's cover some of his cars.
So welcome to the Buggy Khana.
Hi.
So you have two cars here. Let's start with this one. So what's the history behind this? How long have you had her?
I've had her for almost 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
And initially when Faizad showed me the car and he said, you must pick this up, I just said, okay, let's buy it. And then of course he restored the car, he repainted it, there was some tin work involved in it. Mechanically she was okay.
Right.
Most of the original parts were there on the car. And that's where she is now.
Right. So how long ago was it restored?
Almost about little less than 2 years.
Okay. Fine. And how often have you been using her?
So we use, every Sunday we drive.
Right.
So we meet in Horniman Circle for our breakfast and drive every Sunday morning. And sometimes now the weather is great, so I take her out in the night for some drives.
Right. So we've heard some interesting stories about your previous driving escapades from Rishad over here.
So Manoj, I'm not trying to get a little fresh with you. I'm actually sharing a mic with you.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm holding it between the two of us. So Manoj got into the vintage and classic car movement about I think 2012,
2012, yes.
2012, if I'm not mistaken. And he was a little hesitant at that point in time. I kind of pushed him
Absolutely.
and got him into it, and I kept like helping him, making lists after lists on his car. And he was going mad. He was like, what the hell's going on? I don't think he ever went through that.
I just restored the car, 1957 Fiat, and he said, you must go for this drive. It was a 15-day drive, and I was like, are you mad?
And he had no clue. So I sat with him, we went on a drive, and I gave a whole list of things. And he was like, this list is bigger than the list I put the whole car together with.
Absolutely.
And he actually did the drive.
Yeah.
And while driving on the first leg, which was from Bombay to the outskirts of the Maharashtra border, his spark plugs flew out of his engine. And he was like so hesitant and upset. And I was like, Manoj, it doesn't matter. You got to push. You got to get it done and complete the drive. And that's exactly what he did. And he stood by it and he got his car done.
Right.
And there's no turning back.
So I was very dejected at that day itself when we started the drive. So when Rishad pushed me to it, I called my mechanic He came back on the flatbed. He took the car back to Bombay. He did whatever he wanted to do on the car and got the car back overnight driven to Ahmedabad. And I was in Rishad's car. And then I completed the whole drive.
Yeah. So that's what vintage and classic car ownership is all about, right?
And it's camaraderie, right?
Yeah.
You're always there to help each other, and that's the idea of it. Because it's pointless you just driving on your own, and you're not going to have fun on your own. But when you're with like-minded people, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
And as much of a running car as you might have, you never know what's lying for you across the next bend, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, anything can happen, and that's the whole part of this.
Absolutely. So there's what is known as, which most people don't realize, there's a lot of metal fatigue, there's a lot of wear and tear, there's a lot of hidden, items that may give way, break down. And as much as you try and bring the car as close to perfect, it can never be perfect. And there are always a little hiccups and niggles, but it's a part of it. You got to deal with it.
Yeah,
just like all of us. I mean,
Exactly.
we all have a little bit of creakiness sort of coming in.
So true.
No, great. Should we move to the next one? So this is again from an era that I love.
So the iconic 325 BMW.
Yeah.
It's a 1985, again, find of Kaizad. And he said, you must buy this car. I said, okay, let's buy it.
Yeah.
So it's in all original paint. Upholstery is also original.
Yeah.
And
How long have you had this one?
again, almost like over a year.
Right.
About 15, 18 months.
Yeah.
And everything's original in the car. And, just the rims were changed recently. And we painted it to champagne color.
Right.
So I'm right with the color.
So this is obviously an American spec. When
It's an
I'm
American
looking at the
spec,
bumpers and its left-hand drive as well.
So again, interesting history. So we were the BMW dealers in Bombay.
Right, yeah. I remember
so
that, yeah.
these BMW cars, I actually trained on this, on the 3Cs and the E36s, the E30s, as this was the E36s and things like that.
Right.
And I even trained, at some of the conferences in Hong Kong and in Germany, even with Audi at Ingolstadt and things like that. So it was amazing seeing some of the these cars and been working with them
Again,
in the past.
this sort of these sort of cars from this era, now they're called sort of modern classics. And they've really, there's a lot of momentum in this sort of segment, because again, these were the sort of cars that were there when we were growing up.
That's
right? So I think our generation is sort of going after these cars, and they're becoming very sought after. And again, the advantage about these cars is that you can really drive them, right? The driving pleasure, you can push them. So, it's great to
And
see
they have
so
all
many
the
of these.
creature comforts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's air conditioning. It has,
Yeah.
your power steering. It's got your
Correct.
disc brakes. It's got everything on it. They're far more comfortable and things.
She
like
can
that.
be like a daily drive car. I mean,
Yeah. No,
one of
absolutely.
those cars, you love to drive around, and always people are appreciating the car.
Yeah.
While
Because again, these cars are so special, and it's all about our memories with them, right?
absolutely.
And again, so I mean, it's just it's amazing, and I personally feel, I mean, I might be biased because of age, but this was the sort of sweet spot in the the timelines of cars.
It is the sweet spot.
So great. Is this a manual or automatic?
No, it's an automatic.
It's
You
an
want me to open
automatic.
it? I'll
Okay.
just-
Yeah. Wow. Lovely. Starts so smoothly. Very nice. Lovely.
Lovely.
Just go a little bit here and there on the car. Air conditioning is off, so we need
Yeah.
to buy. I wanted to put air conditioning. Kezad said no modification at all. We are going to buy everything original. I said okay, do it.
Those are very valuable.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got to
very
mention those.
valuable.
Yeah.
It's a very well maintained car it was, and we don't even want to repaint it. There are some dents on that
Yeah,
side, but
yeah.
we don't want to repaint. This is faded, but we don't want to repaint.
Yeah, just leave
we
it,
want
yeah.
to leave it the way it is.
It looks nice. I mean, I like cars like this, It's just it's lovely.
So
Thank
even
you.
the seats are very original.
Yeah. The seat, the
The
dash.
steering wheel, dash, everything.
yeah.
You know, display panel of it is working well.
Right. Very nice. Thank you. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this car, Pratap, happens to be owned by Mr. Frami Dondi. This car has done over 5 lakh miles, which is about 9 lakh kilometers.
Amazing.
And it's a single family owned. They use it. It's a daily driver. His son Anosh uses it. They enjoy the car. They take it out of town to different places to their sites where they're in the civil construction business. They take it all over like an everyday driver, and he uses it, enjoys it, parks it all over the road, and just has fun with his car.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's what is special for me. When I look at cars like this,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that lovely note on the windscreen.
Absolutely.
I mean, as a judge, this would be the winner for me, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, when I'm listening to the story, the fact that he's used so many miles, so
Absolutely.
many stories, so many experiences.
Absolutely, and it's not exactly right. So his note says,
Yeah.
"Dear judges, judge me not for your validation. I do not seek. If you come any closer, engine oil, I shall spill on your score sheet." So that's
Lovely. That's extra
hilarious.
points for that.
Exactly.
For sure.
So Frami, here's to you and your beautiful car.
Lovely. So another very famous car. This one is from Mr. Goenka's stable, and you know, I mean, firstly the color, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, gorgeous color, and that's one thing that Mr. Goenka is known for his eye for good cars, his quality of restoration, the quality of the chroming, and all of that. But one thing I've noticed is his eye for picking the right shade of color. You know, he's absolutely incredible at that.
Pratap, a lot of people don't know, but Mr. Vivek Goenka and his nephew Alan are true, I would say, perfectionists. Their eye to detail when restoring a vintage and classic car, the amount of research that is done, the amount of time, effort, energy, and obviously you can see the love that goes into all of them.
Yeah.
And hence they run one of the most successful restoration businesses in the country today. It's always a pleasure. We actually work together also and we have worked on a few joint projects together as well. And the amount of detail they go into, sometimes I'm just blown away with it.
Yeah.
So just phenomenal.
But one interesting fact, and I was talking to Mr. Goenka, actually their restoration shop is pretty much built for in-house work that they do. They actually don't really take in external projects. Actually, they help out a friend, someone wants a paint job done here, there.
That's right.
They might do it as helping out, but it's more for himself.
Yeah, and it's something that's turned out to be an amazing, facility, and the amount of time and love that they put into it, and they're so helpful.
Yeah.
In helping everyone. It's not about, this is mine and my car and I'm not going to help anyone else. They go out of their way to help everyone.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it much more lovely.
Yeah, and that's why the goodwill that he has in the car community is just outstanding.
But that's what it is, right? At the end of the day, it's goodwill. That's the only thing that's you have in life is the goodwill that you build.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah. So as gorgeous as these cars are, I think Mr. Goenka sort of stands way above them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question about it. The famous Citroen DS.
Yeah. This is
Lovely.
nice.
Buick.
This is,
Look at this lovely Buick.
Preservation.
Yeah, preservation class.
I love these sort of cars. They're so cool.
I thought this was a little too old for you.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit...
No, but
Too much
they're
into it, but-
actually so easy to use and so easy to drive. They look They look very, difficult, but they're actually the easiest to use and drive.
Yeah.
And once they're done correctly, they're fairly bulletproof. I mean, nothing goes wrong with these cars. You just
Yeah.
keep going on and on.
Yeah.
Like the Toyotas of today, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm a big fan of preservation class and, unrestored class, original cars.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, those have a bigger value. They still have the traces of time,
Absolutely.
with them.
Absolutely. So this is another dear friend. This is Subaya's car. And again, this
Daimler.
car is driven pan-India, as you can see with the stickers on the car.
Yeah.
And all the lovely badges on the front of the car. You can see that he's driven all over India as well.
Right.
And like I said, all these cars are used and enjoyed. This happens to be Maraspan's Morris.
Yeah.
And again, it's been modified so he can enjoy long drives pan India.
Yeah.
And these all cars
Lovely.
and people that are using these cars and enjoying them to the T.
Yeah.
And this one right here happens to be my 1964 Chrysler New Yorker.
Right.
So a little history about this car is that my dad bought this car from the the embassy back in the day in New Delhi.
Right.
And this car has been with us since that time. And I grew up going to school in this car. Me and my brother used to sit at the back seat on the rear parcel shelf because the car was so big. And so she's been just preserved, and we've basically just taken care of her and looked after her. My mom used to drive this, take us to school in this every day, pick us up, drop us in this, and it was a massive car that we have, and just love it and enjoy it. And now my son Krish has started driving it, and he wanted the original wheels removed, and he wanted to put some
I was looking at those.
upgraded wheels and things like that. But look, whatever makes everyone happy, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly what it is, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I remember, growing up seeing this as well in, what do you call it, at the Kundanmal pump.
That's
which
right,
was
that's right.
parked there with the fleet of your cars.
Yeah.
I
So
remember it very well. Yeah.
yeah, so it's she's just a preservation car, and we've looked after her
Yeah.
and kept her going.
So is this an automatic?
It's a push-button automatic, 413 cubic inch engine, big block, with a 4-barrel carter. It's a big car, big engine.
Now that he's changed the tires, he might move to the exhaust next.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wants to do. So that's
Yeah.
the engine, and
Right. Very nice.
just basically looked after. Haven't done anything on her. Just been looking after her all these years.
Correct. That's what I like about these cars. They're so original.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So I think, Pratap, this is your show. You're doing a good job at Bagi Khana. People have started enjoying it all over, and you've got this huge fan following all over, and which is so apparent. Like everyone coming up to you and asking you for your autograph and pictures. So maybe before I leave, I can get one as well.
Sure. Anything for you, Rishad. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Rishad, a great day, a great Sunday to spend with cars.
Bombay, Mumbai has very few things for people, for families to do, for kids to do. And I think this is one great event where it promotes the vintage and classic car movement. As you can look around and you see the amount of school children who've come to see the show, families. They have this beautiful food truck by one of the enthusiasts of the vintage and classic car movement, Mr. Ashish Sachnani. And Ashish, that's him actually right there at the back of on the back of the truck. And I think he should pay you a royalty for promoting him. And I'm sure he's going to promise to give everyone free food, the entire vintage crew.
Well, thank you, Ashish. The food is really quite nice and much needed after,
A long morning.
hours on our feet
Exactly.
all morning. So I've actually quite enjoyed this function. It's been special in a few ways. The heat, I've had to sort of battle the heat a bit, but we've been part of, inaugurating another leg of the coastal road. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Again, every time I come to a new event, I get to meet more car enthusiasts because I'm not really that into the space, to be honest with you. So it's nice to meet people and have a conversation, and very quickly one realizes that we're all so similar.
Of course, absolutely. We're all car guys. We've got it flowing in our blood.
Yeah.
And that's the amazing thing. And you put all car guys together, and all they know how to talk about is their cars
Yeah.
and their stories and things like that. And that's what makes it so lovely, right?
Absolutely, and it's so encouraging also to see so many people coming. It's almost getting to the point when it is too many people. But the fact is that to see them come out, it's a hot day. People are queuing up to see cars.
Yeah.
They're getting excited. We put the car on, we rev the engine, and they get even more excited. It's fun.
Yeah,
to
you would have
share
had a
this.
lot more if you just revved it a few more times, but you were holding back.
I was a bit worried. But
So-
so it was lovely and such a great atmosphere. I hope we have more of these. I think our car season, it sort of stretches up to March when it becomes hot and then things sort of again
That's
die
right.
down.
That's right.
Monsoon comes, cars are sort of put to bed for a while.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed the season actually.
Well, it's actually amazing, and I think the more activity and the more events that you see, the more people are going to get involved in, looking after, restoring, and basically the love for the vintage and classic car is going to expand way, way more.
No, great. So thank you again for joining
thank
me
you.
on this episode. It was fun.
Absolutely, always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of ours at the VCCI event. It had a lot over here, a lot going on. I was able to meet some fellow car enthusiasts. I was able to be part of a very special drive to open a leg of the coastal road. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Until then, take care.